I changed from Alfred Pennyworth back to Alfred Kerr.
All right, looks like we're live.
Everyone, we're live. It could already be one person watching us.
Doubtful.
Rose is watching. Is that a manta ray?
It is a stingray costume.
Ooh. It's fascinating.
It really looks like a cape because he doesn't like the hat.
I have an old oil hat. Hey, my shirt matches your necklace, Erica.
I know. I noticed even Brian's screen has a little purple cast. Patrick, are you wearing a purple shirt?
I'm not wearing a purple shirt. My shirt's kind of like a green with a bit of a blue aspect to it.
Literally the one time we needed you to wear your purple shirt.
Yes, I do have multiple purple shirts, but this shirt's not. One I'll go put on some purple sunglasses.
I forgot the memo.
Ooh, it's a.
I do have a purple bag right here that I can just put over my head and.
I have purple
How's that?
hair. Are we good
Matt,
with that?
you had to put on your blazer because I was worried about you. I thought, if he's not wearing a blazer, there's something wrong. Oh, might jinx us.
So I got it. I think it went live as American Master Debaters, but that's not our show tonight.
Are you
that
starting
go?
it over?
Fuck no.
You know what made me feel better today, you guys?
What's up?
I looked up old footage of Brett Kavanaugh crying during his confirmation hearings.
He was so.
If it was then.
Yeah. All right, let me try to fix this.
Are you about to restart, like start a new video link, or are you just gonna
I'm gonna, retype it. I don't think I want to restart it. We already have a loyal fan base of one.
Let me go rescue my cat from the shopping.
Cats get stuck in bags sometimes.
Are we supposed to be not talking or talking?
No, you can talk.
It's just that anybody who tunes in can hear us talking.
Yeah, that's all.
How do we call anyone to computer?
My computer did not like that. Okay, we'll try this.
Oh, there's like a couple seconds delay. That's smart.
Yeah, in case
What?
you like say something really
That's when I
bad.
called into the Johnny September takeover.
That's
It was
right.
like trend into your audio. So I was like listening. I was like, wait a minute, this conversation's in the future is like Spaceballs. When is that now? That was then. That was now. That was then. That was then. Wait.
Didn't
that was now.
Spaceballs at one point they refer to the screenplay to figure out what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey Brian, can I test your producer abilities? It started streaming as American Master Debaters. I changed Facebook. Can you go to YouTube? You have YouTube credentials, right? Can you change it there?
Change it?
Yeah, change the title of it.
I don't see an ability to change the title.
Okay. I'll work on it. Hey, did you see
Oh, we got a comment from
Rahul Halder?
Yeah, it's spam. But
You know you made it when you get spam in your live stream.
I'm gonna heart react. He's got it's this guy, you guys. He's got a cure for herpes.
I feel
What?
legit, Brian.
No,
Yeah.
there's no way to change it.
Okay.
For anyone who is tuned in and is listening, make sure you check out the comments in the chat because our friend Raul has a new herbal healer named Dr. Oriri, and Dr. Oriri helped cure him of, it doesn't say what kind of herpes, but a disease called herpes virus, is what he says.
I knew this was going to be penal in nature.
Oh, God.
Sounds super legit.
It could be mouth herpes. We don't know.
I got the mouth herpes, mama. God, I didn't finish my
That's
sushi.
what I love, by the way.
Is that your bird? What's the type? Is it a parakeet?
African gray.
African, okay. I always hate when I mix up my African grays and parakeets.
So what percentage of herpes are we guessing have never touched a penis?
Wait,
Everything stopped when he said that, Patrick. The music stopped when he said
Someone should
We're in like a crowded restaurant and suddenly everyone's like turns my way.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna make. I had this idea for a Pixar film about like a herpy that desperately just wants to live on a penis, but is constantly thwarted from being able to get to a penis.
Valtrex.
Yeah. You know, he's like a herpy that has to like live in a mouth, and it's of like some guy who's a little bi-curious, just a little bit, but hasn't actually done anything yet. And so the herpy is trying to like set him up with another guy, you know. It's like, listen, you know, you're more than just friends. It's like, who's saying that, you know? And you see the voice is coming from inside his own head, so he thinks it's his conscience, but it's actually the herpy.
Ooh, does the herpy have an accent? Because I'm really hoping it's like Brooklyn.
Hey, Matt.
what's up?
Herbie the mouth herpy.
I remember on Xena,
What's up?
Warrior Prince, Bruce Campbell was on there, and they had these harpies were attacking him. And he was like, "Harpies, you just can't
Is
get
that Bud
rid
Light
of them."
Lime?
I love drink. Can I drink the show?
Yeah.
Matt, Brian, anyone? Yes.
He said yes.
Erica said, oh, okay. I didn't hear it. I heard you say yes, and I was like, sweet.
So then she pulls up a pack of like 12 more.
Can you turn up your volume a little bit, April?
The floodgates
Oh my
are
God.
open, Jesus.
This is not drunk ranting and raving.
No, those are all warm. I'm not drinking those.
Okay.
Can't hear me? Oh,
Just
right to the beat.
turn yourself up so you can be with everybody else a little bit.
I need to sit closer. Hang on. Bird and the beer. I don't know how to turn myself up. Turn you guys up. Is that better?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Here, you can read. Stop throwing it. Where'd it go? Okay, no break for you. That's gonna be.
I hear birds.
Man, everyone's so quiet and subdued.
I know, that's why I started playing music.
Bum, bum.
I just watched the new episode of The Boys.
I love that show.
I just started watching it. It's like really wild.
Pretty graphic.
Well, the first episode when his girlfriend, I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
And that sets the tone for the whole thing.
I'm gonna watch it at some point, I imagine.
I just don't like that, dolphins get hurt a lot.
Dolphins.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, what happened to Dan Marino?
Wrong dolphin. Don't need all of it.
I don't understand that joke, Patrick. Who's Dan Marino? Wait, is he a football guy? That's a okay.
Okay, it was not easy for me to grab a football reference.
Because it was in Pet
Dan Marino
Detective,
is
that's why.
literally the only Miami Dolphin I can name off the top of my head.
And he was an
You
Asian
never- You never won a Super Bowl. That's all I know about him.
He doesn't still play, does he?
No.
Yeah.
This
All right,
is
got
back
about
in the
2 minutes.
early
2 minutes.
80s.
Was Brett Favre on the Dolphins?
I don't think so. I think it's
No.
Green Bay.
Jeremy says no.
He was strictly Packers.
Packers.
Okay. Because for a second I was thinking, oh, Dan Marino, he was in There's Something About Mary, but it's like, wait, no, Brett Favre was in There's Something About Mary. Maybe I'm conflating them because they're both Dolphins, but they're not.
Dan Marino was in Pet Detective.
Yeah, he's
That's what it is. Yes, you're
I
right.
think I say Dan Marino. I think Ken Marino from the state and like Reno 911.
Wait, what?
I too think of Ken Marino of Party Down fame.
Jeremy, do you know if Robbie has been trimming his toenails at the kitchen table?
He probably
I can't believe you stole my whole crab leg.
I want to change my rant, you guys.
Why? Don't let Jeremy.
You have a sign that says, like, it's
Changing topics tonight.
That reminds me, by the way.
Already,
oh,
we got a mental showtime. Oh my god. Put the clippers away. Got a mental showtime. Break a leg, everyone. Thank you for being on the show.
Can't go on with long toenails.
Hide your videos.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Lily, no talking.
I just reminded everyone to mute themselves, and then remembered I was muted.
Hello, welcome. Hello, every lovely person out there. Welcome to earprov.com's quarantine live stream series. We've been in this quarantine and lockdown and pandemic for a long time, but we're streaming. We're bringing you funny. We're bringing you entertainment every week. And we had a little pop-up event here today. Hopefully there's some people watching. We usually have our events on Fridays at 8 p.m. and what the heck, it's a Saturday 8 p.m. But we're going to go with it. I was a little restless today, so I wanted to put on a different kind of show. So this is called Ranting and Raving, and this is one of my brainchilds. I think or brainchilds. I hopped out of the shower and I was like, you know what? I want to listen to people rant and rave. And not necessarily just ranting and raving in the literal terms where they're just like steaming, stark raving mad. But I want to hear some things that people hate and they're really passionate about, and things that people really love and they want to rave about. And that's what this show is. So we're going to have about 4 or 5 guests, depending on who actually shows up. They are local comedians, artists, and friends of ours from the Push Comedy Theater. And they're going to talk to us in just a little bit. I want to point out a few things about our stream first off, and thank you to Ted. He has already shared the stream right now. Oops, that's the wrong button. Yay! Thank you, Ted. And Patrick also shared the stream. Yay! Oh, wrong button again. Yay! Keep on sharing the stream, liking the page. It's going to be really helpful. And the other thing is, if you see right at the top here, you can also donate to the Push Comedy Theater if you go to streamelements.com/earprov/tip. You're going to be helping out the Push Comedy Theater on Granby Street in Norfolk, Virginia. It's a place that we all know and we love, but unfortunately it's shut down due to the pandemic. And we're just hoping we get back to normal at some point, and there is a theater for us. So you're going to be helping out. We're going to try to raise $150. It's, I think, a modest goal. On some of our shows, we've raised $1,000, $300. It's probably going to be a light crowd tonight, but that's fine. We're here for you guys tonight. Before I get too chatty, I feel like naked out here without my co-host. Give a big round of applause for our co-host with the Mo-host, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Garrity. Yes.
Hey, long time no see.
How you doing, Brian?
I am doing great.
So
Just like everybody else.
Yeah. So last night we had a really great show called American Master Debaters, and yeah, it was as corny and goofy and silly as it sounds. It was a success. We raised $300. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. But here's the thing, and I want to put this out there now because we didn't last night, and it felt bad. But I think we just had to kind of get through the show. But 30 minutes.
We're not under that same pressure tonight.
Yeah, none of that pressure tonight. Fuck it, screw it. 30 minutes before showtime, one of the cast members, who I actually don't know very well, so I don't know his sense of humor very well, except we've rehearsed a few times. And shout out to Scott out there. He was like, "Hey guys, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died," and we're all like, "Yeah, it's not really a funny thing to say before we go, like 30 minutes before we go on." He's like, "I'm not joking. I would not joke about that." And he wasn't. And it was fucked up. Like I'm still reeling. I know a lot of people are reeling. My whole Facebook was filled with like people commemorating, memorializing Ruth Bader Ginsburg because she was so awesome. It's heavy stuff, man.
Yeah. So glad we started the show tonight with it. Because people out there are like, when are they finally going to acknowledge
right
what's happened?
Yeah.
It's been a heavy 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or 25 hours.
Yeah.
I got RBG tattooed on my knuckles, but I didn't know what to put on the fourth knuckle, so I put an exclamation point.
Well, she's looking down from heaven. She's saying, "That's my boy right there." Okay, and thank you to Erica. She shared the live stream. If you share the live stream tonight, or if you like the page, you'll get a little Nick Cage just like that. Thank you, Rahul. I think you spammed us earlier. That's great. You made it when we get spammed. There's a number at the top here as well. It's the number to call in. We want this to be interactive. I don't know if anybody's gonna be watching the show because we just made this show this morning. But if you want to interact with a guest and you want to be live on air, you can call that number. Don't call in right now though. I'll let you know when we open up the lines. And then, Brian, why don't you point down and to your right a little bit? Right there is the top donations. And right now, oh, yeah, you got your finger right now on Trip Rumble. He donated $220 to the Push Comedy Theater. If you feel that generous tonight, then you can also be on the leaderboards. Once again, we're trying to raise $150. And above all, we're just trying to have a good time, try to distract ourselves. And this is kind of a pilot for the show. So thank you for hanging there, and thank you for watching. I feel like I'm missing something. What haven't we gone over, Brian?
Yeah. If you make a donation tonight, on the tip page, there's a little entry where you can put a comment. Mm-hmm. If you include a rant or a rave, we will, and it's relatively respectable. We will read that rant or rave live on the air.
Good job, Brian.
That's our incentive tonight for donating.
That's why Brian is my co-host with the Mo-host. He is the yin to my yang twin. He finishes my sandwiches. So, okay, let's get on. I don't know. Let's get on to the first guest. All throughout the show, once again, donate to the Push Comedy Theater. Keep the chat alive. Ask questions. Feel free to disagree or agree. We're going to bring in one guest at a time. We're going to talk about who they are, what they do around town in the Hampton Roads area. And then we'll get to the rant and rave, and we'll see what they think. I can't wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a huge round of applause for your first guest for the night. It was his birthday yesterday, so feel free to also sing happy birthday to him. Patrick C. Taylor, come on in. Come on in.
It was my birthday? Oh, shit. Jesus.
It comes around every year, my friend. And thank you, Jeremy.
God, I do this every year. Okay, yeah.
Are you broadcasting from the Norfolk Public Library?
Look at that. A thing of beauty. That's my DVD collection right there.
All right, Patrick. For people who don't know you, what are you all about?
Yeah, I'm Patrick C. Taylor. I used to work at Narrow Video, and now I have my own video store in my bedroom, as Narrow Video isn't around at the moment. Although its collection is still together and will hopefully be made available to the public when the public starts being a thing again.
That's so true.
That'll happen. Yes.
And yeah, you are a sketch, improv, comedian, a writer. I know you write screenplays. just a talented guy overall. I know you're in Kamikaze sketch and improv comedy. You guys were in the 48-hour film festival in Norfolk recently, yeah?
Yeah, we did pretty well. I think we were second runner-up for best film. We
Nice.
we won best writing. I was nominated for best supporting actor. Casey Kennedy for best actor. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, congrats. Do you have any other shows coming up or anything? I know it's a
Fuck
silly
you.
question. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, he's a not infrequent guest on the Sexperts podcast.
That's
Yeah,
true.
no,
That's
I
true.
love my Sexperts episodes. People should go check those out.
I love
Check
them
out
too.
Nettie McGuffin.
I already know this. You can share as much as you want though. But how was your birthday?
My birthday was not good.
Yeah.
Not good. No. Trying to make it, but just the day before, I wrecked the underside of my car. I hydroplaned onto like a steep curb and just ripped the shit out of the front half of like the underside of the car.
That sucks.
So I'm gonna have to pay a lot of money, and I didn't have a car for my birthday, and tried to make the best of it. Only to find out that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is no longer with us.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
So
man.
it was kind of hard at that point to continue to have
Yeah.
a nice birthday.
It's like it's already shitty, and my birthday is until December. But to get back to me,
I ended up having a political debate with my right-wing mother on the phone in the bathroom of a Wawa convenience store, like standing in the stall. Like we had to pause when people were like flushing and washing their hands and shit, just to get back to debating the death of democracy and all that. But,
Joe can relate because on his last birthday he got busy in a Burger King bathroom.
yeah, on the phone with my mom again, having a political debate. It's
okay.
I don't know why she insists on that being part of the tradition.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. And thank you for going first. This is the first ever version of this show, and we just came up with it and like, let's do a fucking show tonight. Let's get going. So yeah, let's ask you. What do you want to talk about first? Rant or rave? Rant or rave? Patrick C. Taylor.
I'm gonna rave about something. Let's move. We've already been a little bit negative. Let's move to the positive.
Okay, I'm thinking now about the show. I should have a sound effect for the. So
For now, we're gonna rave the roof.
Here, maybe I'll play this one. Oh no, that's not connecting anything. Okay, rave. Sorry.
All right. Well, after that wonderful introduction, yes,
Exactly.
All right. I think we have the audience warmed up. I'm going to talk about a rave, which is very much, we are in dark times, as we're talking about, with the death of democracy, as well as a pandemic tearing through the country,
Right.
where basically none of us are going to have birthday parties except for the people who deserve to die. And for the rest of us, the reasonable ones of us, we're pretty much going to stay inside all through fall, all through winter, except for going out one day to vote. But other than that, we're staying inside. And the thing I'm going to rave about, the thing that is getting me through this, is sitcoms. Binging sitcoms. Sitcoms is getting me through. I'm going to show you, for example, right here, Arrested Development.
I love that show.
Beautiful DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, some of you people can stream this stuff, but let's face it, pretty soon we're about to lose TikTok. We're probably going to lose all the streaming services too. But you know what we won't lose? DVDs. They can't take those from us.
Patrick is the guy from that Twilight Zone episode where he has he's locked. It's like a nuclear holocaust, but he's locked inside like his library, and that's all that Patrick has going.
Oh
for
yeah,
him.
and then I realize I have a Region 2 player and I can't watch any of DVDs. Yes.
That's perfect.
But I'm going to recommend, for certain, season 1 of Arrested Development, a beautiful family drama comedy, well worth watching, a breakthrough in modern sitcoms. While I'm at it, I'm also going to recommend season 1 of News Radio, which actually, if you watch this, I feel like Arrested Development was in some ways inspired by this beautiful workplace 90s sitcom. Way weirder than you expect it to be.
Right.
You got your Dave Foley, you got your Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live.
Miss you, Dave.
You got Stephen Root, you got Joe Rogan, who wasn't crazy yet. Wonderful sitcom.
And
Maura Tierney, who was not Emmy nominated yet.
Is that Andy Dick in there?
That's Andy Dick, who turned out to be a much bigger dick after the show as well.
I honestly didn't think of the connection between News Radio and Arrested Development, but I think you're right. I know Arrested Development better. I haven't actually seen all of News Radio. I gotta get back to that one, but
News Radio is a show where you have one sane character surrounded by an insane sort of family of people that he's
Right.
constantly trying to keep in line.
yeah.
I'm going to recommend another workplace sitcom. Of course, I don't think anyone's surprised. I'm recommending The Office Season 2. Weirdly, it's a weird thing. They started with Season 2. Season 1 doesn't exist. I don't know why. It's weird. But you just started with Season 2, sort of like Parks and Rec. But Season 2 of The Office, highly recommend it. Of course, who doesn't know to watch The Office? So I'm going to give you a sitcom maybe you haven't heard of. Of course, we know The Office was based on a British sitcom, The Office.
Yeah.
You know what another wonderful British sitcom is? Coupling.
I watched
Coupling
that.
is a thing of beauty.
One of my ex-girlfriends, she made me watch an episode or two, and I couldn't get through it all. I was like, I think I want to break up with you, and we did.
You probably should have started with the episode Inferno, which is short for Lesbian Spank Inferno.
What?
I recommend watching Lesbian Spank Inferno, a wonderful episode on season 1 of Coupling. Coupling, which
Okay.
is sort of like Friends meets Seinfeld, but with a lot more sex and naughtiness. I highly recommend this. Plus, this is by the guy who later went on to take over Doctor Who and who created Sherlock,
Yeah.
Stephen Moffat.
Right.
He does a lot of the clever, like playing with time and stuff like this. It's kind of a postmodern sitcom, in the same way that So Is How I Met Your Mother, another sitcom that I'm recommending.
Brian,
Local sitcom.
did you have something to say? You had a
I was
naughty
gonna
look in
say
your eye.
Friends meets Seinfeld is not exactly a rave for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
not-
like-
That's like
you notice I have not recommended Friends or Seinfeld. I'm recommending better sitcoms.
Do you not like
uh,
either one of them,
in
Brian?
they don't what's the term when something doesn't like
Connect.
no like it was good in its time but it's not good in
Oh, yeah. What is
Hate it.
that? I guess, but overall, you feel it's overrated.
Doesn't hold up.
Doesn't hold up.
Thank you.
That's what you think.
No, it's like Caucasians from the 90s meet Caucasians from the 90s and aren't relevant to current times.
Okay.
Well, that would be a good matchup. Friends versus Living Single. Did you watch Living Single?
Living Single. I used to watch Living Single when I was a kid.
Yeah, Brian didn't.
Yeah, I really like that show.
Apparently, he
Unfortunately,
doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I was more of a Jeffersons guy.
Okay. Okay. Moving
So
It's
on.
my
much harder to
age.
find the DVD of Living Single, so that's why I can't recommend that. But I can recommend How I Met Your Mother, and I'm going to recommend one more sitcom.
Okay.
And we're going way back here. I'm going back to old sitcoms because, back when things were okay. Soap. You ever seen Soap?
Yeah, that's a crazy
Yes.
one. I love it.
This is fun. Yeah, this was groundbreaking first time. Billy Crystal's on the show,
Yeah.
playing a gay character when at a time that was unheard of to see on TV. You got Benson, who later had his own sitcom Benson. That started here. You have Katherine Hellman from Who's the Boss playing a totally different kind of character. This is an incredible sitcom, really clever. The first season of this is amazing.
Hey,
Soap
who,
was on the early days of Comedy Central.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when I
That's how I
first
know it.
marathon.
along with Half Baked every 2 minutes. So in the comments, I want to shout out to Chris Kushna. Is that one of your friends, Patrick? I don't think I know him, but thank
I
you
know
for
Chris.
watching, Chris. And he says, I don't know if he's true, but this is funny if not. He coached John Krasinski and BJ Novak in Little League. That's kind of cool. But I don't know you, so you could be lying, but I don't know why you would lie about that. Thank you, Chris. All
I
right,
want to know how their bunting skills were.
you got any more sitcoms for us? I do want to ask you though, and I think I don't want to put words in your mouth. I can assume, sitcoms seem kind of like, I don't know, like comfort food, and I think you're kind of saying it's like you really appreciate the comfort food, the comfort entertainment in your life during shitty times where you have to spend a birthday indoors and not with your friends. Is that right?
Absolutely. But this is actually where I'm going to get to my rant.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yes.
And we're going to open up the phone
Because-
lines in a little bit after Patrick's rant, and you can talk to him and ask him questions at the phone number above, but we'll wait a little bit. All right, start ranting.
The thing about sitcoms is, as beautiful as they start, just like life, it goes terribly, terribly wrong. So as much as I can recommend the first season of Coupling, the final season of Coupling is hot fucking garbage. Coupling, or Soap? Did I say Coupling? Because I'm holding Soap. Soap.
I was like, is this a parody
4
itself?
seasons, and each season gets worse and worse. I give the first season 4 stars, and I give the fourth season 1 star. This was a garbage show by the time it ended. It was a shame. By the time that Jessica Tate is getting kidnapped by Cuban militia guys, one of who's Joe Montana, garbage, hot garbage. Do not recommend watching all the way through.
Okay,
You
I know
also-
where this is going, Patrick. Are you going to go back
Yes.
through all of them like that?
Fucking How I Met Your Mother. How many seasons did it take him to find the fucking mother? And by the time he did, we didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
It was garbage by the end.
Throw
the
it away.
last season of Coupling, terrible.
Garbage.
Terrible final season. The thing
No
about
more
Coupling...
lesbian spank sessions.
Okay, I want you to look at this guy. You see this guy with the curly hair? That's Jeff Murdoch. That's the name of the character on the show. Best character on the show. 4th season. Who's that guy? That's not Jeff Murdoch. That's another guy with curly hair they replaced Jeff Murdoch with, who is terrible.
I like
the worst part of the worst season of the show.
That's the white Aunt Viv.
That's what I was gonna say. He got Aunt Viv'd.
Or Becky from Roseanne.
Absolutely. And not to mention people being lost. The last 2 seasons of The Office, when they tried to turn Andy into the new Michael Scott, that didn't work. When they tried, and when Michael Scott left, they just suddenly all the characters, all the straight people on the show, it just became insane. They all got infected by Michael Scott syndrome, and suddenly they were writing the characters the way they'd never written the characters before. Yeah. Awful final seasons of The Office. Do not recommend trying to make it.
That's not my complaint about the last season of The Office. My complaint about the last season of The Office is Jim became a douche.
Absolutely.
And we don't want our hero to end up as a douche.
Yeah,
no, we don't. The moment when they started trying to turn him, just like everyone else, into more and more of a Michael Scottish character, the series was over. You know what other series ended very poorly? News Radio. So bad that Phil Hartman had his wife kill him and kill herself.
Okay.
Do not watch the final season of News Radio. And finally, Arrested Development season 4. Awful season 4. Apparently there's a season 5. I haven't watched it. You know why? Because I know when to get out of an abusive relationship. I am done. When a sitcom starts getting bad, it never gets good again. It just gets worse.
Well, luckily we have a caller on the air right now. The lines are open. I think it's who we got here, caller. Who are you?
Hey, it's me, Matt Holman.
Oh, Matt Holman. He's a friend of ours. Matt Holman of the Johnny September Takeover. He's a good friend of ours from the Push Comedy Theater. What do you got to say? Do you want to agree, disagree? Do you have a bone to pick with old Patrick here?
I have lots of bones to pick with Patrick, but I actually really respect his opinion on sitcoms because he is correct. Like a sitcom, it's good, and then it's not, and then there's usually no recovery. But there is an exception to that.
What is that?
And that's the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Starts, it gets good. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th season are probably the strongest in my opinion. Then the 6th and 7th are garbage. And then starting in season 8, it goes and it starts trending upward until like the 2 most recent seasons, season I think 14 and 13, might be 2 of my favorite seasons of the whole show.
Well, that's awesome. What are your thoughts, Patrick? Rebuttal?
I've gotten burned before. All the people who claim that The Simpsons, no, The Simpsons is really good again.
No,
it's not really good.
Do not believe that. I agree with that.
I still believe that with every sitcom, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain, and I think that'll be the case with It's Always Sunny as well. I have seen about 3 seasons of it. But I'm scared to go any further.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I do. I think it's one of the worst things, like when you just like squander. I mean, I get it, where like people need jobs. These are actors and people who help make the show. They need jobs as well. So of course, the producer, the directors, they all want to keep their thing alive. Sometimes I really like British shows. I think they do it a little bit better. They kind of get out while the getting's good. But with American shows, it's just sometimes it's a cash grab. Just
which
flat
American
out.
Which American show gets way too much credit for quote unquote quitting while they were on top?
Too much credit?
Arrested Development.
No.
Seinfeld.
Until it came
really?
back. Seinfeld didn't quit when it was on top.
Walked away from the
that
show.
Was 10 seasons in.
But they still said he got all this credit. They still gave him all this credit for quitting while.
I'm sure if they had done an 11th season, it finally would have become funny, but who knows?
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Matt. We love you. Thank you so much. Keep on watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
And keep those donations rolling in. We are crushing it.
I know.
Oh my God, Matt Holman just donated $1,000. Oh, that's so generous of you, Matt Holman. That's amazing. And if anyone finds out that that's not true, you're going to seem like such a jerk.
I went ahead and donated $10 just to make sure the tipping was working. But that's okay. So keep on donating. We're going to make our goal of $150, or we're just going to have fun tonight. Call in right now. Matt Holman, thank you. Thank you for calling in. We're going to keep the lines open for a little bit, and then we're going to switch guests. So if you have something to say to Patrick C. Taylor about sitcoms, loving them, hating them, I want to hear somebody who just hates sitcoms, period. Like, you will not watch them. You don't even like The Office. I think The Office is universally loved, right?
I don't know if those final seasons are universally loved. If so, those are people who probably also deserve to get the pandemic.
Yeah, but I didn't like the final seasons, but I still love the show for it. Now, sometimes when something ends poorly and it, like I said, it's like an obvious cash grab, I will hate it forever. Like Game of Thrones, I know it's not a sitcom, but how it ended, I can't like that show anymore. I can't recommend it. Like, the first seasons are great, but then the last season is just like, you're gonna be so disappointed.
By that point, all the people who were screaming and crying about that, for me, it was like, you know that scene in Platoon where Charlie Sheen is getting on the plane and the grizzled soldier's getting off the plane? It's just like, I felt like the grizzled soldier coming off the plane, coming out of the shit, like, kid, I've already lived it. You know what I mean? Of course, this is going downhill. Every series goes downhill. They'll all disappoint you in the end. If anyone has a show that never got worse, please include it in the tip line.
Well,
Patrick, you inspired me to pick sitcoms back up, and I think I'm going to start with something new on Netflix, which is Sister Sister.
Oh,
wait. The reboot
with Tia and the Maori sisters.
I don't.
It is not a reboot. It is the old show recently brought back onto Netflix.
Is it on again already?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! Like, wow. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's read a few. Some of the comments here.
Anyone want to start a watch party with me?
Some of the comments here, and thank you guys for chiming in. I think Ryan Jennings agreed with me about Britcoms ending early. Amber Nettles, she's in season 5 of New Girl. Sitcoms are so helpful when you're stressed. I agree. Oh, and thank you, Amber. She donated $10. Thank you so much, Amber. She was actually
New Girl within New Girl, the microcosm of Nick stayed beautiful while the series around it kind of faltered a little here and there.
Yeah.
The New Girl kind of did like that.
And
it
thank
was
you.
Still kind of coasting. It didn't quite crash into the mountain, but it wasn't what.
6 seasons into the New Girl, you can't keep calling it the New Girl.
We gotta thank Anonymous for donating $25 to Push Comedy Theater. Maybe I should raise this cap here. A huge thank you to Patrick C. Taylor for the sitcom rundown. Thank you so much. And Tara, we haven't heard from Tara in a while. She donated $25. Wait, where did Patrick go? Anyways, thank you, Patrick.
I thought you just told me to leave.
I didn't tell you to leave. I said thank you. And not thank you, goodbye. But now I'm going to say thank you and goodbye. Give it up for Patrick C. Taylor, his rant and his rave, all about sitcoms. See ya. He's fading away into the background. Well, that was lovely. So this is kind of I like the vibe of this show. Last night it was a little hectic. My computer almost fried because I had all this like bells and whistles going on. But tonight it's really low key. We're just talking with a few funny people from the Push Comedy Theater in the Hampton Roads area. The lines are open, so if you want to call in and talk about something, let's bring on our next guest though. And I think let's see. I think I remember who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, give a huge round of applause so she can feel your energy at home. Erica Guest, come on in here, Erica. Yay! Look at that. Always looking lovely. And I like, with your lighting, it's very prominently over that. It's like a jungle sometimes right now. That's cool.
Thank you. I keep a lot of plants around and it's appropriate.
How are you doing? How are you doing in the pandemic? How are you doing in general?
I mean, I don't know, not great, man.
Yeah, I know. I think we are post buddies. I think we probably align very closely politically, and I think for everyone, I think for every woman, pretty much. I mean, to have that kind of hit yesterday from Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it's like it's nuts. But well, thank you for being on the show. And any thoughts about sitcoms, by the way?
I feel like we've talked a lot about sitcoms.
Yeah, let's move on.
About sitcoms.
We either got to move on or rename the show.
Sitcoms, Ranting Raving. Okay. Well, let's get.
Comedies. Oh, that's what COM stands for.
See, he left out that part. I was in the dark for a long
I
time.
just reverse engineered myself back to the original meeting.
I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Erica, what are you known for around Hampton Roads and comedy and such? What do you got for us?
I work in advertising, but in my spare time, I forgot my pushy. Jeremy, can you bring my pushy, please?
Oh my God.
I am known as the 2019 Musical Performer of the Year from the Push Comedy Theater. That's exhibited here.
That's awesome.
So that I feel like that's how most people know me. But you also may know from my occasional roles with Kamikaze Sketch Comedy Group, who was also the 2019 Sketch Group of the Year from the Push Comedy Theater. I don't have that pushy with me. That's at somebody else's house. But
see, a real group divvies up the pushy, like cut the hot dog in pieces.
I respect it too much. It can stay intact. That's fine. We don't have circumstances.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even realize we actually have two people from Kamikaze. We should have gotten all Kamikaze here for the show tonight, but it was so last minute.
Yeah, we have a lot of opinions.
Okay, well, Brian and I are huge fans of your comedy, and
thank you. I'm a big fan of you guys, and I just
shucks.
I'm not gonna this isn't my official rave, but I am gonna start off by raving on Matt and Brian for keeping comedy alive. 757, because ever since the pandemic hit, I'm pretty sure Matt's gonna turn into Lawnmower Man because he's just online.
That's a good point. And by the way, if we had Patrick C. Taylor back on, he would have a solid 3 hours to say about Lawnmower Man. But hang tight, Patrick. We'll get you back on at the end of the show. Oh wow! And thank you, Jeremy Johnson. That's Erica's beau for donating $50 to the Bush Comedy Theater. Oh, hit the wrong button again. For the lady with the wiener. Nice. Okay. Let's get to it. Erica, I can't wait. Rant or rave?
First, I want to rant about women who hover over the toilet seat. I don't know if this is something men are aware of.
Okay.
But in a ladies' room, I think there's probably my informal polling tells me there's about 25% of women who do not sit down on the seat. They hover. Right. So I don't know if they're I don't know how they do it. They could maybe their arms are resting on their knees, or they're using the handicap rail or something.
Right.
They're elevated from the seat, and what happens is, their pee is not coming down in a nice stream. For a man, it's as it passes through the vulva, it just kind of whoosh, and turns into this spray, like a cat.
Yeah.
And it dribbles on the seat. And then they pretend like nothing happened and just flush and leave for the next person to come and sit in. So you don't, because you can't always see it there. Sometimes pee is kind of clear, and it might just be a mist on the seat. But you sit down, and all of a sudden the backs of your legs are wet. And you're like, who broke the social contract? Because I thought we were all in agreement. There's nothing dirty about the backs of my legs. Right. There are no thigh germs that are infecting the seat. Yet some women are terrified of catching something from the toilet, which it doesn't make sense. It's not normal. If I'm wearing a skirt and I go sit on a bench, the same skin is touching the bench, and they'll hover on the bench. So I don't understand why they insist on hovering over the toilet seat and then not wiping up. There's no excuse, because everybody knows if you sprinkle when you tinkle, please be neat and wipe the seat. So if you what? Why is Brian shaking his head?
Brian, I hate this about Brian. He always shakes his head in the most condescending way. Show yourself, Brian. What is this?
It's please be a sweetie and wipe the seatie.
You are fired up, Erica. You are. I think you're crying. You're tearing up at this. This is something.
So this happened to me recently, and it was a single. There was a woman in the bathroom. There's one stall and a sink, right? But the stall has a door. So I open the bathroom door and I see she's still washing her hands. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait in the hall because of COVID. I don't want to share a tiny itty bitty space in this public restroom with her.
Right.
So I wait until she leaves, and then I enter the bathroom and I sit down and I'm like, motherfucker, I saw your face. and you just left the bathroom like this in this state. And so I'm fuming, and I clean myself up, and I have to use like a shit ton of toilet paper, even though I only went number 1 because I'm trying to clean up my legs, right? And so I go back out, and I'm like, I'm gonna hunt her down. I'm gonna find that girl in the yellow sweatshirt, and I'm gonna stalk her in the sweater aisle. I'm gonna get her, and I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna tell her, like, if you sprinkle when you tinkle, please be neat and wipe the seat. And I gather up all my courage, and I walk up, and then I see her, and I walked away. And I wish
Yeah, you don't strike me as somebody who's like confrontational. Like, have you ever done that before? Like, you've gotten so emotionally charged and socially like just like fired up?
There was a woman in Lidl who was not wearing a mask in like May,
oh shit,
right? This was like peak like wear your fucking mask, right? You know, everybody's still like really, really scared. And so I'm going out to Lidl to buy plants because I love plants, and she's not wearing a mask. And I'm like, I had just had it. Like, I had seen, like, I'd been running errands all day, and I'd seen people not wearing masks, and it was getting under my skin. And so this lady took the brunt of it, and I just like step aside from out behind the orchids at Lidl, and I like snap her picture, and I'm wearing my mask. And she's like,
well, no, you're right. I haven't had to, because I don't go out a whole lot, like at all. I haven't had anybody who hasn't worn a mask like in my proximity, and I don't know how I would handle it. I just that's how much of a shut-in I am right now. But I know it's out there, and it's fucking crazy. And the pandemic is still going on, and you should still be wearing a mask, guys. Like, let's.
Yeah, she started to verbally abuse me for taking her picture. I don't know why I took her picture. I didn't have a plan for it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was just like, I should take a picture. So I took a picture. Did you take my picture? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with it?
You should have peed on it.
God, I love Brian. I want to shout out, I think on YouTube, God's Guy 35 mentions women's bathrooms are the worst. Thank you, God's Guy 35.
That's it.
Yeah. So I guess he goes into women's bathrooms. I don't know.
I think he cleans bathrooms for a living. And
oh shit, yeah. Well, I wonder if it's Stephen Devery, because he just liked the streams. Thank you, Stephen Devery. Although we know you're not 35, I don't know. Okay. Well, let's get to your rave. What do you want to rave about? And it's gonna be weird if you also pick the same thing, women's bathrooms, like Patrick did.
Don't forget the rave sign.
Oh, rave the roof, rave the roof.
So,
if that becomes a thing, I'm gonna hate you, Brian. All right, go for it, Erica.
I want to rave about architecture because I was watching this show on Netflix called Grand Designs.
Okay.
And it's like these people in the UK who spend gobs of money building these homes. Like, they'll either renovate an old home or just build something from scratch into like the hillside of the Irish moors or whatever. Like, these homes are insane. They're really pushing the boundaries of like modern residential design. And I'm watching it, and they pick the most beautiful materials. You know, they have like stone walls and marble countertops, and just everything is like perfect. And I told Jeremy, like, I am having like an erotic sexual reaction to this show.
Holy shit.
That architecture was giving me a straight up lady boner. Like, not but like a semi. No. It was beautiful. It was like sublime. And like, I've heard, like, I go to church, but I've never had like one of those like moments in church where your soul feels touched. But I
never got a lady boner in church.
No, I don't get lady boners in church, believe it or not. But
you must not go to a Catholic church.
I got a sexual heart on watching the show. I can't recommend the show enough, you guys.
Yeah.
Grand Designs. The homes are insane. Like, part of you feels bad. You're like, I'll never live there. I can never afford that. Because they're legit spending like 1 million pounds, British pounds. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but
it's about 50K.
Like,
I don't know.
$1.5 million, 1.75. I don't know. A lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of good taste, a lot of weird decisions. And then I feel good because I'm like, oh, I would have done better. Like, you know, like, so that feels good too. Anyway.
Well, I'm pointing my finger up. Maybe I'll have a flashing light when I'll put the line on. But I'm turning the phone lines on if you want to call in. We'll talk more about this, Erica, while we're waiting for somebody to call in. I don't know. I don't know anybody else who loves architecture as much as you do, or at least like that much. Like, to be very honest.
I think Tiffany Siddiqui does.
Oh,
I want-
wow.
I want God's Guy 35 to call in because apparently I was right about his or her experience with lady bathrooms. They commented, yes, I used to clean them.
Okay, we have a phone call. All right, caller, you're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Hi, yo, this is Anna Sosa.
Anna
your
Sosa,
roommate.
calling all the way from the room next door to me. She's my roommate. Thank you so much for calling in, Anna. So what do you have to say to our guest here, Erica?
I really appreciate you bringing up the subject of hover, which I know should seem old, but it's not old. It's totally a thing. I disagree with the hovering situation, and there are certain things I hate about it. And the two things I hate about it is people that hover oftentimes are the ones that hold the toilet like at the lip in between their legs, right? And then they think that's going to save them, which was just awful. And then the other thing is they also don't flush typically afterwards.
Wow, but you're not talking about yourself, right?
No, I don't hover. Like I don't subscribe to the hovering situation. In fact, I wrote a song about it when I was in the Prima Donnas, but I don't remember if it won a Pussy or not, and I don't remember when it came out.
Oh, like this one?
That's awesome. Yeah, Anna Sosa, she is a very talented comedian and actor, and I have it stuck in my head right now. Can you sing a little bit of it, Anna, for us on the air?
Oh yeah, I could. Well, basically the chorus is, so hover like you do, ha ha, hover like you do, hover like you do, ha ha, hover like you do, what a number two, ha ha, hover like you do.
Yes.
They're animals. Now, Matt, can you
Yeah.
speak to Anna Sosa's bathroom habits? You share a living
I guess I could, but I want to continue living with her and that we can share rent and share the space. And also, she has some great cooking that I would love to keep. I'm going to change the subject. Jeremy Johnson, thank you. He donated another $10 with with the comment, starting a fund to clean up women's restrooms across the country. Please be a sweetie. Love it.
Am I supposed to let you go now? Because Bobby's like rapping the rap lyrics of Hover over here, and I feel like I need to like keep you guys from this intimate moment.
Okay. Well, you can either let us go, or you can put him on the line and have him rap for us.
If he's giving you a lady boner, then I feel like it ties in.
Oh, don't ask me if my style is old and new school, scoop neck, girls' jeans, gender neutral. I sympathize, I understand. To hover or not to hover, that is the question. My 2 cents, if you'd like to use them, hovering makes you tense when you drop a due cent. It doesn't make sense to lift yourself up, so drop that ass down and let the cheeks touch.
Yes. Oh my God.
Okay, love you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling in, Anna. That is amazing. Bye bye. Wow. Wowie zowie. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Erica, for Ranting Raving. We've got a few more guests, so we're going to get to them. I think we're running long anyways for the show. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who has been donating. I went ahead and, I'm surprised I can do this during the show and my computer doesn't blow up, but I raised the donation, goal for $300. I know it's ambitious, but, a lot of people know and love the Push Comedy Theater, and we're trying to keep the dream alive. So keep on donating, and you can have a little Nick Cage in the bottom right-hand corner, just like we got from Jeremy Johnson. That's Cameron Poe from Con Air, if you're not in the know.
Got big Twitch news.
What's that?
We're up to 2 viewers on Twitch.
Yeah, I've been learning.
I'm only one of them, and I know I've used that joke before, but it's true.
I've been learning all this live stream stuff. I got to hand it's like gamers, like the kids who are like 17 years old. They know how to work like Photoshop and like OBS streaming stuff and all this. I'm learning it.
I saw a YouTube video of some gamers who made enough money streaming that they could move into a mansion, and I just have one question. Where's my mansion, Matt Cole? Where's the Improv mansion?
Well, the thing is, they moved in together, so that's the stipulation. Would you move in with me in a mansion together?
You, Bobby, and
yeah. Would you?
Of course.
Yeah.
If it's a mansion.
Okay, I'm pumped.
And you have to promise to play tennis with me 3 times a week.
Tennis, yeah, or maybe ping pong. All right, I'm energized. So let's get in our next guest. He is a lovely fellow. We have a podcast together, Performance Enhancing Films. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Alfred Crane. There he is.
Oh,
How are you, Alfred? You look great.
I'm okay. I'm having a good evening with my friends tonight, which is important. And I heard my friend Anna call in and talk about that, and
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty, good.
Awesome. Oh, and look at that. Anna just sent in $25 saying ladies' bathroom behavior. Yes. All right. Thank you, Anna. Okay. Well, I already introduced you as the host of Performance Enhancing Films. Talk about that podcast and what you got going on.
Yeah, we're about to come up on I think a 20th episode.
Nice.
And what we do is we Matt and I started about this time last year, I think. It was the early fall or something, and we're like interviewing. I wanted to interview people about movies they liked, and then Matt was like, "We gotta have an angle. What's different?" And then it was like, well, as performers about movies that impacted their in their careers in comedy, acting. We've gotten into actual artists and painters, and we're starting to broaden our horizons. And we're doing this for about a year, and I've really been enjoying it. And it's fun to hear people light up about movies that really inspired them.
Yeah, it's so cool, and you have to stop me sometimes, Alfred, because I edit the podcast afterwards. I'm like, shut up, Matt Cole, let Alfred talk. Like, I just get so passionate as well about movies. I think that's what we all share, except for I'm surprised sometimes Brian hasn't seen like classics, but me, you, Patrick C. Taylor, obviously. Look at Brian. All right, so let's get to it. I think we're running a little behind on time. I want to get everybody in, but rant or rave? Where do you want to start, my friend?
I'll start with rant because we can go up from there.
I love it.
And one thing I wanted to say is about men's bathrooms. Some men miss the urinal, and they got these concentric rings of piss on the floor. So it's like I've got to walk out there with sticky shoes. And there's men who do three things: they drop and go, drop and rinse, drop and wash. And they hold the handles of the door to leave it. So I'm grossed out about that. But I don't like to sit in wet stuff either.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah. But my rant is in 2007, I started having problems moving. And I was trying to start my lawnmower one day, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, damn, what did I do? And then, I went to the doctor, and nobody could figure out what's going on. In 2011, I found out it was Parkinson's. I'm like, holy shit, I'm not even 40 years old yet, and I've got like a major neurological disease.
Right.
And it's been a hard thing to live with, I tell you. I mean, there is hope on it because my life has totally changed. But, the inability to sleep regularly, walk regularly, bathroom habits, I've had to adapt, taking care of myself, which has been great. It's like for a while there, I tell you what, when one of my lowest points with it, I was like, I can't walk or wipe my ass. So life sucks right now.
Yeah.
And but I've had 2 brain surgeries. They put in a battery in my chest, and I get to charge with my arc reactor with a shoulder holster battery charger thing.
Like Iron Man.
And one of the funny things about that is that people say, how do you charge it? And I say, usually a car battery and 2 nipple clamps. And then I get serious about it. It's like, I just wear the shoulder holster. But it's been pretty shitty, but until I had the brain surgeries, which was scary in itself, I had it done twice, but I got my life back through that. But it's not all fun and games, but I have to constantly take medication and
I know. And I know before the show you were talking about like do you want something like this heavy? Like, I know it's like a comedy show. It's like, well, it's a whatever show, and we're ranting about it, and we can all say fuck Parkinson's because that's part of your life. And I think it's incredible that like it's another testament to the Push Comedy Theater. And I don't mean to sound like a shill, but like I know that you have said yourself that like doing improv, keeping your mind sharp, moving around on stage and that sort of thing has kind of kept you alive and kept you going, which I think is incredible.
Definitely. We got to have something to look forward to and keep us going. So
imagine
doing stuff at the theater's been amazing.
Imagine going through that and being fucking hilarious the whole time.
That's true. Yeah, and it's not like any sort of pity party where it's like, oh well, Alfred has Parkinson's, we got to put him on our team. It's like, no, everyone wants you on our team because you're just hilarious. And this is one thing that the pandemic has kind of brought kind of like good things around. Is your Uncle Al character that you've been showing off in videos is like my favorite character of 2020.
Thank you.
If there's a virtual pushies and Alfred doesn't win Performer of the Year, or isn't nominated at least, I'm burning the virtual pushies down.
Yeah, I think it's really, really great. You're doing great work, but I have to say it's like we talked before. Like my grandma had Parkinson's, and it's like I wasn't even really old enough to really kind of know like kind of how debilitating it was. I never saw her walk. Like she was in a bed for the rest of for as long as I knew her, and it's really sad. But like and I gotta say, okay, and we'll get to your rave in a little bit because I'm glad we're gonna pick it back up. But I have to say, it's like I remember the night before one of your brain surgeries, we were at Push, and like you were so like very stoic, and I asked you, and I think you probably put on a good face. I was like, is this kind of like dangerous? I mean, it's like brain surgery, and you're like, yeah, I'm really nervous, but you know what, it's gonna go well, and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, that guy's not only funny, but like he's holding it together when I'm like scared to death for him.
Yeah, it's like we talk about the fear about having each other's back. We really do.
Yeah.
I learned that through all this. And this time last year, I couldn't walk without a cane, and I've been walking without a cane for like since January. So it's pretty cool.
That's right. So let's all say fuck Parkinson's, and I think you're gonna win the rant of the night. By the way, because who can top fucking Parkinson's?
Well, fuck the pandemic, because my man's walking without a cane with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
The fuck?
That's a pimp's worst nightmare. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Teresa. Teresa, also from your sketch comedy group. Charged Particles. Yeah, I'm sorry, I almost blanked. I wanted to say Quantum Leap for some reason. $25. So thank you so much. And Jeremy is back again for Alfred's BDSM Tony Stark reference. That's right. I think I missed it. Another $10. All right. Well, let's get to your rave, Alfred. I can't wait to hear this. What you got?
My rave is like, so we talk about hope, and then nothing gives me hope better than Star Trek.
Yes.
And I tell you, during this pandemic, I've watched a lot of things, and I've watched a lot of old movies, and all of a sudden, I just got this renaissance of Star Trek because of Matt introduced me to this one group, and I was like, wow, they're having fun talking about Star Trek, so let me go back and rewatch them, and they're remastered in beautiful high definition.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that they have this. So one of the problems I have is I have an obsessive compulsive problem. So I bought like most of the new DVDs on Blu-ray, so I have a project to do. But I justify it because I'm starting a new podcast with two of my friends, Taylor Kinter and Trip Rumble.
Yes.
And it's going to be called Secondary Directive, and we're going to be talking about Star Trek.
That is so cool. And by the way, I should have said this before, but we're opening up the lines. So if you want to call in and talk to Alfred, agree, disagree, talk about Parkinson's, anything from Parkinson's to Star Trek or anything else in between. Okay, I got to ask you, and I think we've talked about this before, but the world has to know, favorite Star Trek series and favorite character?
I like The Next Generation, and it goes back and forth, but I really like Data. Data and I'd say probably one of the favorites is from Deep Space Nine is Garrick the Tailor.
That's a good one. I loved Deep Space Nine. Love it, love it, love it. Brian, I have to ask you, favorite Star Trek and favorite character?
I know not of what you speak.
What's Star Trek?
Brian's like,
Spock is in Dazed and
Confused. I've seen it before, but I don't know which ones I saw.
Brian's like, that's easy. My favorite series is A New Hope, and my favorite character is Chewbacca. Next question.
Yeah. Star Trek.
I like the pod races.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, call in. I think I have the... Oh, here we go. Oh, my God. All right, you're jamming up the... I'm going to have this caller on for a second. Hey, Patrick C. Taylor.
Hey, guys. I just want to say...
Hi, Patrick.
I'll give Star Trek The Next Generation the fact that show never jumped the shark. The final episode of Star Trek The Next Generation is a fantastic episode.
Okay,
I agree.
Thank you so much, Patrick. All right, if anybody else wants to call and talk to Alfred, don't jam up the lines. All right.
That's a good point. That show did get continuously better. So did D Space Nine.
Well, didn't they? I mean, this is really dumb, but didn't they just wipe the slate clean every couple of years and new cast, new Treks
with Star Trek? Yeah, I think this is a point of contention for me. If I were to rant about something, I have to rant about what they're doing at Star Trek, man. Like,
hell yeah,
the last couple of
Discovery
series,
Picard.
Yeah, Picard I haven't liked because not really Star Trek, not really Picard. They kind of shit on the character. It's weird. It's like making Arnold Schwarzenegger do like like a ballerina or something. Like, I don't know. It's like they don't know who the character is.
I'm not a ballerina.
Yeah, exactly. Oh wait, maybe that does work. Anyways, bad example. And also, I'm not liking Star Trek Discovery. That's gonna be my rant. It's really just weird. It's not Star Trek.
Do the different series know of each other's existence, or are they completely separate worlds?
They
I
do.
can say Star Trek, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise are pretty. They can cross-reference each other. Even the J.J. Abrams Star Trek links to Enterprise. So,
hello, we got a caller. Hello, caller. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Ted Cornisa.
Ted, how are you? I see you in
Ted,
the chat.
my favorite. What's going on, buddy?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Look at that.
Fantastic.
Ted is a member of Lemon Pepper and Sazone, a sketch comedy group in the area. What do you want to talk to Alfred about?
I want to ask him if there's any Star Trek character he could play in a movie or TV show. Who would it be and what series?
Nice.
Ooh. I would play Garrick's sidekick in Deep Space Nine, and I would play Data's. I would like to play Data because it's like I feel like Data a lot because I don't have no idea what to do with people. And Data's funny. Data's funny. He's like one of his favorite limericks was oh, it reminds me of this limerick. There once was a lady from Venus whose body was shaped like a, and Picard's like, Data. He cuts him off. I think I paraphrased that, but it's just funny in a not funny way. And
how about you, Ted? Ted, I don't know. Are you a Star Trek fan?
No, I am not.
Ted, my man.
With like butts on their head.
All right, what can you and Brian Garrity talk about? What are you liking right now?
Coneheads.
What am I liking?
Yeah.
I haven't really watched anything, to be honest.
Cool.
Nothing new.
Well, what about I know you're big Marvel fan, big comic book guy in general, movies, and I think you like anime maybe. What about that? Maybe an old show that you like.
X-Men, Jonathan Hickman's run on the X-Men is really good right now.
X-Men what?
All the mutants are united, and it's nice to see.
Okay, nice. Well, thank you for calling in, Ted. It's good to hear from you, and great question for Alfred, the Star Trek fanatic. Thank you so much. We have the lines still open for a little bit, and we're going to get to our final guest. But Alfred, so you got anything coming up? Any shows? Anything to catch besides the podcast? Anything we missed?
One quick thing with the podcast, Ted really linked our podcast to the show because he asked me who would like to play because we play Cast It Up in our performance enhancing films. It's one of my favorite parts. And I played Flea in Enterprise. Because we had this thing go like Flea is in every movie, but he's really not. But
Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is something that Brian does know.
I was gonna say that I'm confused, but that's cool.
What we have coming up?
Stephen Devery also posted. I think Stephen Devery is a huge Star Trek fan. Do you ever talk with Stephen about Star Trek? He says Gene.
I haven't, but I will.
Gene Roddenberry did the Next Generation about 300 years in the future from the original series, so the old characters couldn't be in the Next Generation. It didn't work out that way. That is something we've kind of forgotten, but now, to go back to Brian's thing, they kind of play with nostalgia, and so in the new series, they're like, oh no, it's like Captain Kirk, but an alternate universe, where it's Captain Kirk when he was young, or it's Spock from a different universe, and they're playing around with that so they can bring in some of the older fans, and it just sometimes doesn't really work very well. And with Ted,
translate well into the Queen's English.
Right. And like you said, Ted was a great guest on Performance Enhancing Films. Check it out where you can listen to podcasts everywhere. And we were talking about a great movie, which I love, and I think you started to fall in love with too, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And that episode is going to be out at some point, maybe in a month or two. All right, final thoughts, Alfred?
But as for what we got coming up, we've got we just published our first episode of Neon Squares, which is a parody of Hollywood Squares.
Cool.
We're shooting our next episode this coming Thursday, and we have some openings for people to be celebrities, so we'd love to have you on. We have like 9 people as celebrities, fake or real. We have 2 contestants, and I believe Erica is hopefully going to be on as a contestant this coming week. Patrick and Matt have both been on the show, and we're looking forward to it. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, just stay cool.
Stay cool. Hey, live long and prosper. How about that? Give it up for Alfred. See you, man.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Ranting and Raving. Fuck Parkinson's. Love Star Trek. Can't get any better than that. All right, we're on to, I think, our last guest of the night. Thank you guys. We still have a little bit of time. I raised the goal, and maybe that was greedy of me, but we've raised $190, which is great. We don't usually do streams on Saturday nights, but I just had to get some of this stuff off my chest with like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I just want to see my good friend Brian and some other friends. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like this stream and share it, and you'll get a little Nick Cage, or you can tip just like Teresa donated $25. It all goes straight towards the Push Comedy Theater and keeping the lights on. I know that Brian has to get to. I know one thing that you are, Raven. You're really liking NBA right now, and you got to get to a game pretty soon. Yeah.
I actually completely forgot about it, but yeah, I've ever since they shut it down for what I thought was the right reasons, and made the decision to come back, I started tuning in and just to support the guys. I think I like how they're handling the situation, and it's been pretty good games, and there ain't shit else to do
except live stream with me, hanging out and watching basketball. And you said Celtics and Heat are playing tonight in the series.
Yes.
Series of 7?
Yes. And I believe the Heat are up 2-0, so the Celtics would really be coming out of a pretty big bind if they lose again tonight.
All right. Well, let's get to our last guest. So Brian,
and that's it for sports update on Ranting Raving.
Ranting Raving.
Back to you in the studio, Matt Cole.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our final guest for the evening. She's a good friend of ours. I've known her like forever. We've been in so many comedy things, and we are always glad to see her. Ladies and gentlemen, April Shannon Threet. There we go. Hey.
Hey.
How are you? Who's your friend next door to you?
This is Willie. So she's been watching the show with me.
Cool.
And she's gonna be part of my rave.
Cool. That is so fun. Well, I already alluded to some stuff that we've been doing comedy wise, but what are you up to now? What are you known for? What's your dealio?
Who is you?
Who is that? Who am I? Comedy wise, I do a lot of stage management and improv and sketch and whatever is needed. I'm a kind of all around person. I like to tell people I'm a kick-ass stage manager though, so if you need someone to keep people in line, I'm good at that. Otherwise, right now I mostly just work. I work at the aquarium. Oh, and I'll be working at Hunt Club, so if you want me to scare you, come out there. You open on Friday?
Yeah, maybe we can talk briefly about the Hunt Club, because I get a little eked out. I hope everybody's wearing. I know everybody is wearing masks in the who's in the show. Like I guess Jason and all that. So they're probably safe. But are the attendees, the people who go there, do they have to wear masks?
Yeah, they're requiring masks for guests and for performers. So like I'm a bride, but I'm still going to be masked. And we also have to keep distance. So a big thing that's different this year is the hayride. There's no way to really socially distance a hayride. So they have made it a walkthrough this year.
I gotcha. Oh, and to back up a little bit, the Hunt Club Farms, they do like a haunted, what do you call it? Haunted place? Haunted farm?
Haunted Hunt Club.
Haunted, okay.
So
my first year doing
this might be a controversial opinion, but I found Hunt Club Farms. It seemed like it was run by a bunch of carnies who tired of life on the road.
Jesus Christ, Brian. Okay, 15 people just stop watching right now. That's our whole audience, Brian.
My coworkers are watching, so way to go, Brian.
Okay, my rant is fuck you, Brian.
This is how you social distance a hayride. No one's going to want to go with me now.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I apologize. I do not share. I'm going to actually rave about the Hunt Club Farms. I always have a good time there. So fuck my co-host. He's fired. I actually really do like what you guys do. I want to shout out to.
Like he's back home in West Virginia at a family reunion.
God damn it. I want to shout out in our Twitch stream. I don't know if you see this, Brian. Let's see. Ghost Paws. Oh yeah, you commented. I don't think we're gonna rant and rave ourselves tonight. I have so much that I could rant and rave about, but let's get to April. April, what rant or rave? What do you want to start with?
I'm gonna start with the rant because I think you should always end on a positive.
I love it. Let's do it.
So my rant is just a thing. Like I know Erica was talking about like people like a behavior. Mine is just a thing, and it's pickles.
Okay. What don't you like about pickles?
Everything. Okay, here's the thing with pickles. They contaminate everything that they touch.
Yeah.
There's no way to like have a pickle on something and just pick it off and still get the same like essence of the food because everything is the essence of pickle when it touches it.
I agree. Yeah. I think everybody probably has their food with that. I know people really don't like cilantro because it kind of does the same thing. I love cilantro. I love pickles. My thing, I think, is celery. Like, even if a salad has celery bits in it, I can't do that. All I taste is celery for probably the rest of the day.
But see, if you take the celery out of the salad, it doesn't taste like celery anymore. If you take pickles off of a burger, it still tastes like pickles. It's a big deal. I eat way more fast food than I probably should. And if they mess up my order, if there's pickles on a burger, I will drive like 15 minutes back to the fast food place and be like, you gave me the wrong order. Like, there's pickles on this. I can't have it. It's gross. It's awful.
Can birds eat pickles?
Yeah. Oh. And I like cucumbers. So that's a weird thing. But
You don't even like pickles by themselves?
No. I think the only pickles I like in my life is the eel at work. His name is Pickles. Other than that,
how do you jar your cucumbers such that they last through the winter?
I don't. I eat them.
Oh, have you heard about this movie with is it Seth Rogen? Where he falls into a vat of pickles, and it's kind of like magic realism. He actually gets pickled himself and goes from like the 19th century to the 21st century. Have you seen that movie?
Like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Like that's how much I hate pickles.
Sounds like something Matt Cole would make if he had money.
Well, I was actually really like, and he meets his ancestor, like his great-great-grandson or something like that. I haven't seen it. It actually got bad reviews, but I was really into it. I was like, this looks like it's going to be a good movie. But it's gotten bad reviews. I don't think I'm going to watch it. Where did this pickle like aversion come from? Did a pickle like hurt you in some way? Like,
no, I used to make pickles with my mom when I was a kid because we grew cucumbers and she would make them, but I would make them. I just would not eat them. They're gross. The only thing I can think, this is going to sound weird. So when I was a little kid, like in a stroller, little kid, we were at the World's Fair and a giant
pickle.
So weird. No, a giant Heinz ketchup guy came out in costume. And it scared me so bad. And apparently I started crying and, it was just hysterical. And so the handler with the giant Heinz ketchup guy wanted to make things better because I was terrified. And so he came out and he brought us a bag of pickle pins. Like they were like these little tiny pins that were pickles. And literally up until when my mom died 9 years ago and I cleaned out her house, we still found fucking pickle pins. So 30 years of pickle pins that would just like randomly show up places.
When I was a kid, there was a lady that lived in my neighborhood and we called her the candy lady. And you could stop by her house as you walked home from school and you could buy candy from her.
Yeah.
And so you'd save your change left over from your school lunch and you'd buy a pack of candy. But if you were really flush and you had like 75 cents, you could buy a sour pickle.
What the fuck? This sounds like you grew up in the 1910s.
it was enormous, and you felt like a king because you had this enormous pickle.
Where did you grow
that
up?
was the prize purchase of me and my friends was if you could afford a sour pickle.
Where did you grow up in Virginia?
This is in Norfolk, Virginia, in a neighborhood across from Military Circle, if you're familiar with the area.
Yeah, a lot of our listeners, especially in Twitch, are from Military Circle, Virginia. Stephen Devery says it's the vinegar and the pickles that makes it linger, which I think he's right. And then Brian Garrity responds, "Did you have to let it linger? Did you have to? Did you have to?" Which I do have to applaud because I'm a huge Cranberries fan. Okay. April, let's get to your rave. What are you raving about? And I'm going to start to open the lines in just a little bit. So what's your rave about?
You should open the lines now so people can interrupt me, because what I'm going to rave about, I could talk about forever.
Go for it.
When you brought this idea to us, I was like, what do I like enough to talk about?
Yeah.
Birds.
Yep. I know you well. Yep.
So this is Willie. And he or she, I don't know actually if it's a boy or a girl, so sometimes I call him a boy and sometimes I call him a girl. Probably should just go gender neutral and, they. But Willie is an African gray. So he's one of my 3.5 birds that I have. And birds are like, I'm going to be like the crazy cat lady and be like, they're just wonderful. They're so charismatic.
Yeah.
And like, they have such personalities. Willie's actually a little grumpy right now because it's past his bedtime. So he's trying to get to bed, but birds are also assholes. So there's that.
So let's back up just a little bit because I think you probably told me this before, but I can't remember. How do you not know if it's a boy or a girl again?
Most birds are sexually not dimorphic, so the boys and girls look alike. So you have to do a blood sample or like a surgery. You can feel their pelvis and kind of get a guess, but it's not accurate.
But your best guess is...
Let's check tonight.
Yeah. What is your best guess?
No, Willie doesn't want me checking. Willie says no.
I had Brian check me once, but it didn't turn out well either. And yeah, Ted said, did you say 3.5 birds?
Yes. So at my house, I have 3 birds that live with me, and I have another bird that actually is the last bird I got. Her name is Ripper. And she's a little lorikeet, but she's handicapped. But that's not why she's my half bird. She's blind and she can't walk. That's also not why she's my half bird.
Yeah, good Lord.
She lives with a friend of mine. So when I brought her home, again, last animal that I brought home, and I promised Anthony that I would never bring any more, or I would not have a husband anymore. So no more sneaking animals in the house. But anyways, she's blind, she can't walk, so she has to be fed like 4 times a day. She probably could get fed less, but she's really spoiled. So she would go to my friend's house when I'm at work, and then I would pick her up on the way home. But she's really lived with my friend for like the last 2 or 3 years. So she calls her my bird. She's still my bird. She hears me. She hears my voice. She starts talking to me. She says, "I see you," which Anthony thinks is really mean to teach a blind bird to say, "I see you."
Okay, I have to ask you, and I know that you just love birds, and I knew that you were going to have something to do with your rave with loving birds. And by the way, the phone lines are open. Please call and ask April a question. I'm going to say, so, like, if I were to rave about something right now, I'm playing a video game, because I have always loved video games, always been kind of, like, introverted, and I stayed in my house, which makes me very well adapted to the pandemic and the lockdown. I'm playing a game right now called Slay the Spires. It's kind of like Magic the Gathering card games meets, like, roguelike. Like, once you die, that's it. I love the fact about, okay, here's what I love about video games is, like, I can just play it and I can just be so alone, but also get engrossed in this other world. What is that one thing that you like that makes you almost want to cry about birds, that you're just like, I love this about birds so much?
Their lack of genitalia.
I like they're so fucking smart. Like we have a crow that I work with. They are smart, Brian. Don't make that face.
Yeah, Brian, why do you make that face?
I have a crow that I work with. I'm a telephone pole operator, and I work with some crows.
No, the crows outside my house don't like me, but this crow does. Her name is Russell. So she's
Oh, funny.
Brian was about to make the joke, and then he realized that's why he was
I wasn't
named
gonna
that.
make the joke. I was gonna. Never mind.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, Brian.
Yeah, Russell actually is a girl. They did have her sexed, but they just stuck with her name rather than making her.
They had her sexed. Was it consensual?
God damn it.
Probably not. Probably not. But she's so smart. She likes to fuck with me, and like if I've had to grab her up for a medical procedure, she stops talking to me. She doesn't do it to anybody else.
Can we agree that smart in this case is relative?
I think you probably know Rachel. I was about to call Rachel. April. I'm not a huge animal person myself, but I like robots, and my Roomba is really smart. That's why I like my Roomba. Like it like Bobby, my roommate, and I. He was on the show earlier. We watched my Roomba like go like a tractor beam into its little home, and it's fascinating. And I agree with Brian where it's like, you know, you can talk with a smart person all day and like have an intellectual conversation, but for some reason there is something very cool about, you know, birds. Some people love their dogs because they're like, oh my god, my dog's the smartest person in the world. I like my Roomba because it's the smartest robot I know.
Have you had an R2D2 robot? Because those are pretty damn smart too.
Dude, those is that a Star Trek thing? What is that? And by the way, thank you to Jeremy Johnson for $10 more. Thank you, and Eva $10 more. Eva says sending out some positivity,
going out, making money, coming back, and donating.
Yes, thank you, Eva. Thank you. Eva is a great friend of ours, and actually, Eva and April are both two of our most drunkest players. Every second Friday at 8 p.m. we have a comedy live stream. We do Whose Lines It Anyway style, a short form, but everybody gets wasted, and we make a shit ton. We made $1,000 for the Push Comedy Theater last time because people donate to like buy drinks for, and people were like buying shots for April all night long. Her birds were just like so pissed. Her birds were like, April, I've never seen you this trash before.
True.
I gotta say, go ahead, April. Sorry.
Oh, someone tried to buy a shot for my puppet crow.
Birds don't like
I gotta
shots.
say, I've spent 5 or 6 minutes now with Willie the bird, and I'm not convinced that she's smart.
Oh my god, Brian, you are so offensive. You already pissed off the Hunt Club. You pissed off Willie the bird. You're not.
What is it was like? If I just stood there and didn't say anything, would you think I was smart?
All right, April.
We were projecting.
He shook
I
his
think we're
head no.
projecting.
See, he shook his head no, Brian. He shook his head. All right. So last call. If you want to call in for any of our guests, if all of our guests could come out here. Thank you so much, April. Anything coming up that you want to plug? Anything?
Just the online stuff is great. I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job with it, and I'll be on whenever you guys want.
I look forward to having you on Drunk Prov because you are a delight. And check out Hunt Club Farms if you're not familiar with the Virginia area. It's in Virginia Beach. Look it up, and it's really fun. I like it. Brian does not.
And check out Pros.
And check
available outdoors most of the time.
If they like you, they'll bring you things.
Okay, and Alfred, come on. Is Alfred still here? Thank you to our 3 guests for tonight. We're gonna wrap it up. If you have any
hovering over his toilet.
If you have any. That's a weird joke, Brian. Okay, there he is. All right, so if you have any last minute thoughts or questions for our wonderful and talented cast, please call in or type them. Check us out next week. Next week, I'm just going to push the applause button. Next week, we have the Improv Explosion, which is an improv comedy live stream at 8 p.m. earprov.com. It's going to be simultaneously streamed over YouTube, over Twitch, over Facebook Live, and we're going to have a great group. They're called Turtle Emporium, and it's one of the groups that was very popular at the Push Comedy Theater. They're going to be performing. They're going to be raising money for the Push Comedy Theater. Give a huge round of applause for our 4 guests, for Patrick C. Taylor, Erica Guest, Alfred Crane, and April Shannon Threed. Yes. If you want to keep on donating to the Push Comedy Theater, then you can send money. Go to pushcomedytheater.com. You can sign up for a class. They're doing online classes, outdoor classes. It's all kind of safe stuff. Everybody here is a student of the Push Comedy Theater, and we really want to support this place. Good night. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Ranting and Raving, earprov.com. Thank you, my co-host, Brian. Brian, I couldn't do this without you. Love you, my friend. All right, we'll see ya. We'll see you next week.
shoot horses, don't they?
There was a bird down the hall.
Let's have a bowel movement.